We are back. It's season 5 of the hottest show for millennials in the DMV. We have a whole new crew, new topics to tackle, and most dope of all, we're connecting you to the conversation. So let's do this. The I Wish You Knew Cafe is open. Welcome to I Wish You Knew. I'm Will Lash, and joining me on the sofa is Kiara Bell, Amir Tyson, Maya Elzane, and making it all happen online, our social media master, Adrienne Picciotto.
Ooh, hey.
Hey.
Speaking of social media, our generation doesn't make a move without it. And it's such a part of our daily existence that we are definitely under the influence. Is that a good thing?
I think it's a great thing because like Snapchat, Instagram, like it dominates the conversation and it globalizes things. Like you could connect with people internationally that you couldn't 5-6 years ago. So I feel like it gives like a wider audience to people and then people you just know. Like with Facebook, for instance, like it's just with people in your family or people just like your close friends. But with Snapchat, Instagram, you could reach a worldwide audience, which I think is beneficial.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Social media is very influential, and it also has its cons too with our social lives. We get on social media to, of course, connect with people, but do we do that when we actually leave from getting off of our phones? Like, do we go out and socialize and talk to people that we might not know, but we have the courage to do it on a cellular device? So it's like, I feel like there's so much with social media. It's influential, yes, like we can do so much. Like you said, you can connect with people all across the world, but
But we're losing out on
Yeah.
actual physical relationships.
interaction,
skills.
yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Yes.
not. Maybe it's the evolution, because if you think about it, when we went from just talking to people in person to the telephone, I'm sure there was like a whole thing about the telephone is causing all this chaos and people aren't meeting in person anymore. Now everybody's getting on the phone and your moms are calling their best friends and now everything's on the phone, and now that evolution is into social media.
I mean, maybe.
So-
Yeah.
I just feel like it kind of like
Definitely.
It's like we're so focused on like posts. We gotta do photoshops for posts. Oh, let me see what everyone else is doing. Everyone's trying to get more followers. I feel like there's more to life than just that. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like everyone could be like really social on social media, and you think their personality is one way, then you meet them in person and it's totally different.
So,
you know?
so do you think that so the fact that our whole lives are now determined upon you know who likes our posts and how much influence that we're having on other people that we don't really know, you know, on a personal level.
Yeah.
Like, how does that affect our actual daily interactions with people, and how does that affect in the future going forward? I mean, if you think that our whole persona is going to be based upon our social media profile,
Right.
and footprint.
Yeah.
Yes, very much Black
Definitely.
Mirror.
But if you think about it too, how about social media is just a tool and potentially could be just exposing, sometimes I think about just exposing people or humankind for who and what they are in the sense of, maybe it's just actually amplifying in people's insecurities or people's strengths. And I think people a lot of times spend a lot of time on the tool itself and not necessarily taking accountability on the human side for what we bring to it.
You could use it for great things. Like if you have a business, you could like increase your profits with that business by letting more people know about it.
Right.
So if you like push your brand on social media, you can get more people talking about it. Like, oh, I want to see what their brand's about, and then like you get more attention, more so because it's so globalized. Because everyone has Instagram, everyone has
Right.
Snapchat.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the social influencer
Yeah.
aspect of it. Whereas big companies and organizations now, why would they go and spend millions of dollars to put ads on television when they can, put their ads on Facebook or Instagram, or have someone that's an influencer or someone that's a celebrity that can actually endorse their products and reach more people, because no one's watching television anymore,
Yeah,
right?
definitely not.
Most of the people are actually looking at their phones.
Right.
Phones. That's where they get the news and everything now. Like, no one's watching
Unfortunately,
CNN or
that's where they're getting
ESPN.
their
It's
news.
Like, oh, it's on my feed. I'll find out where it's happening.
I mean, because the news is not always accurate,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
so-
And then they
Really
have,
biased
the crazy
and
thing
stuff.
is, like, they have technology
Yeah.
that as soon as you click on a certain ad, that automatically feeds to your phone. So
Yeah, exactly.
if you're in a certain location, you'll get a certain ad.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying, if you're more
you Google
interested in,
something,
you'll get,
you
I
know.
noticed that. I was
Right.
like, oh my
or
God.
if you're Alexa, here's you talking about
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea, you know,
Yeah.
with Google and the Amazon, I mean,
Yes.
they have so much influence over our daily lives that they
You go on Google every day
they
when you're-
direct
yeah.
market to us.
Well, speaking of Google and Alexa, next thing that's going to happen, people are going to transition from being on social media to voice. And then
voice.
it's going to be voice, and that's going to be a whole nother type of in the future. So voice is talking. So like if you go right now on Google, you're going to get search results for like the top, I don't know, 10. You go on Instagram, you know, things that you like are just popping up in front of you. But as you move to voice, the voice filters is like one. If I say, hey, Alexa, I want to buy a pair of jeans,
Right.
Alexa's going to be like Levi's or like, you know,
Give you
something. It's
options
one,
that you could
but it's going to
buy
limited
from.
option. So like there's going to be a whole new world of how you're competing in voice from social media. So that'll be an evolution.
But all of that still
Yeah.
feeds into the addiction.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Yeah.
still going to be looking at your phone all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Honestly, like social media could be an addiction. Like you just
Yeah,
like
it
you're on your
is.
phone all
It
the
is,
time. Like
definitely.
people could barely sleep
It's-
sometimes.
It's
just because they're
dopamine,
focused
you know,
on. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Just like anything else, alcohol or anything else that provides that dopamine,
Yeah.
that response. That
Yeah.
you know, when you get a text message, you light up. You
Light
get this
up.
energized, you know,
Yeah.
and let you go all day and you don't get a ping on your phone.
You
You'll be so
start to feel like
depressed
you're
and
not
gloomy.
important.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I do
You're not
have
your
a
usual
question.
self.
I
Yeah.
do have a question though. This just popped in my head. So, what do you guys think about relationships as far as how some years ago meeting someone, generally people met people in college or high school
Yeah.
and that was their, you know, they married them eventually. And now it's like people are having like online relationships. They're not meeting their significant other.
We're going to get,
I feel
we're
like-
gonna get to
Yeah.
that too
Exactly.
in our next segment. So
Okay.
we can go
Yeah.
to that a little
Cool,
bit more in
cool.
depth.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, hold that thought. So, we have lots more to talk about. And when it comes to relationships, has social media swiped us off our feet? We'll be right back with more. Welcome back to I Wish You Knew. Now, we already know social media has taken over our lives. And for many of us, that includes our relationships. So what's up, panel? Is anybody hooking up the old-fashioned way?
Well, I
She
wouldn't
has the first
necessarily
opinion.
say the old-fashioned way or hooking up.
Like, what is the old-fashioned? What is
Yeah,
hooking
define
up?
that for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I'm confused.
So, I would say for me, I met my boyfriend in college. So I'm not really a big fan of social media when it comes to finding my significant other. I like interaction. I like knowing who you are. I like knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, what you're looking for. And I felt like I got that from him when I met him. And we're still together. So yeah, I just hooking. I don't know about that.
I mean,
you
you could
introduced on social media, right?
you could find out like there's different things. There's Tinder, there's Bumble, there's Instagram. So you could like initiate the conversation with somebody on that, and then get to know them. If you take them on dinner, go to a movie date. You know, it all depends. You know.
But that takes so long.
You're having the relationship exclusively online.
Right.
You know, when your my grandparents met on a blind date. You know, and like my boyfriend and I have been dating for 3 years. We met on Tinder.
Yeah, how?
So
See?
what's the difference between like seeing a hot person at the bar who you don't know and talking to them versus seeing a hot person on Tinder?
But social media kind of limits people's social skills as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like it takes away that, you know, hey,
Yeah, how you doing?
what's your
You
name?
know?
What's your name? Right? So all you got to
Exactly.
do is
Exactly.
slide in the DMs like I'm sure you do, Amir. You know,
From time to time, it happens.
time to time.
It
You
happens.
guys, listen, you can't block love, like, or meeting people or anything. I mean, when you apply for a job, a lot of it's online. They don't make you come in person anymore to the human resources office and
Well,
show
not
up with
to
a
apply.
to a resume.
True. And
So-
I agree with that because I am a recruiter by day, so yeah, I do a lot of my interactions with folks online, you know,
Yeah.
emails and things. But at some point, we got to do it face to face.
Yeah,
You're gonna come in for an
Exactly.
in-person
Because
interview.
Like we said
Right.
earlier, like
Your forehead.
social media has globalized things, globalized a lot of things, including dating. So you could like hit someone up, or like you match with someone that lives in Georgia and you live in DC, or someone that lives in Virginia and they live in Florida. So like it maximizes everything.
But
Or they could be your next door neighbor,
You get to know more
actually.
people in different places, so you have
Yeah, but
more
you
options.
also get to know their online persona.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't
Exactly.
really know who you're.
Exactly
I mean,
who you're
even when you
interacting
meet
with.
someone the old-fashioned way, at some point you realize, okay, I've been dealing with your representative for the past like
Right.
3
Well,
months,
I like
right?
the vetting process. I like
Right.
vetting people. Like I see you online. It's like, you know what Maya was saying about the, like, you know, online they vet you, they vet your resume, they vet your LinkedIn, and then you meet them in
Yeah.
person. Like you're not gonna just knock on like, hi, I'd like a job, please. Like you.
Well, true.
Yeah.
It's the same way.
And I've met people in the past, and their representative was there the first time I met them, the second time I met them, the third time I met them, and then there's sometimes I've made friends online that are even like homegirls, and you just met you link somehow, because sometimes even in person, like you don't come across as who you really are. So
Exactly.
online, it's
But what do you guys think about those who, you know, let's step away from our millennial ways, right?
Yeah.
Or let's go back to the 70s, the 60s, even the 50s, when people like
Courting.
met their loves in high school and college, and they've been together for 40 plus years.
Yeah, but those people
Yeah.
had limited options.
But
Exactly.
okay,
You know what I mean?
but,
But now-
you had
yeah.
to date
Exactly.
Sally from down the street because you really didn't
But
know
back
anybody
then,
else.
it was just like,
I
back
mean,
then
it was
everything
true,
was
you know?
old fashioned, especially before like the counterculture revolution and stuff, when things got different. Like you'd marry your next door neighbor, like your
Right.
parents would introduce
yeah,
each
but
other, and then
okay.
you'd expect to like marry.
But do you guys
Exactly.
think that's real love? Because
Well,
the way
It
it
depends
sounds,
on the
it sounds
person,
like y'all
right?
saying it's not real love.
No, I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying
let's
it's not
talk about the
real love.
evolution. Let's
You
talk about
said you
evolution.
just
It
love.
varies
You had
from
to
person to
love
person.
who was available.
Okay.
You know?
It went from you literally married the person who was within a 1 block radius to then evolve to maybe you met somebody within your own town.
Right.
And then it maybe evolved into, maybe you took a bus and you went to another city or state.
Right.
So like and now we're at
And if you're in the
social
military,
media
you had
where
the
it's
fortunate
like the
opportunity to
globe.
go overseas. And
so there's
Really
a natural
right on,
evolution.
right?
I guess I'm just on the fence of understanding
Yeah, we're gonna catch you up to
how
speed.
it,
Come
you
in
know,
2019.
got to.
I
You got to.
understand. But I mean, I just feel like it just varies. Like,
what
you just don't know with social
Right.
media. I get people met their significant others, you know, through social media and have been together maybe 10 plus years, whatever. But I still like the old-fashioned way too. You know,
Real quick, guys.
It's all about preference.
Can I
Yeah,
interject real quick here?
but you also have to think about too.
I think so.
Question.
Edward Fun II commented on our stream online. He says, "I can't trust social media pictures. People can do a lot with pictures. They can catfish,
Catfish,
etc."
Right, the catfish.
Yeah, we can see the
We-
comment
we
right
just
here. What do you
talked
guys
about-
think?
We were just talking about iPhones versus Android, and
Right.
what
We
was your
did.
comment about the filters? Yeah, those filters will get you in trouble.
Filters will definitely get you.
Filters will get you in
Okay, I will
trouble.
agree with that.
See, exactly.
There's
And you know we have the show Catfish, and you know some of those people look crazy.
Okay, but at the same time, as somebody who's just thinking logically, after a certain period of time, if you get catfished, what does that say about the person on the
That's
other
true
end
too.
who's being
If you've been
catfished?
talking to somebody for
like-
6 months,
Like something has to
and you
like
keep
light
trying
bulb
to,
off.
yeah, you keep
on
trying to
something.
meet,
Like,
and
come
then
on, man.
they keep blowing you off. Then yeah, that's
Social media.
Right.
Exact. Some people just don't know how to differentiate the two. Like you are expecting something to happen eventually, and then you don't realize that time is going by. Like 2 years, 3 years. Like, oh dang, I
After
still
like
haven't
6
met
months, you have to realize something's going on. You have to be like, all right,
but
I might,
some
this is a
people don't.
possibility, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Some people don't.
Right.
That's the thing. Some
And
people
you look at their
don't.
pictures, and you're like, come on, you can look at some, you
Yeah.
can look at some of these profiles. You're like, okay,
But
that is
honestly,
probably
like
not you.
when old-timey people were in war and they'd write letters to each other from across
There
the
you
water,
go.
they
There you
could
go.
fabricate some personality.
It's like, you know the ones who
Okay.
just like, there's 3 photos and it's like all on the same day and they try to contact you, like that's a sign of getting catfished.
But some people don't know. We're speaking
Well,
as
they don't
how
know
we would
because
handle
of
it.
the era that we're in, and social media makes people lonely
Exactly.
because they're not out having normal interactions. with
Exactly.
true.
Exactly.
You know, so they're willing to fall in love with an idea of a person online
then
than actually
to
meeting
fall in.
someone.
Exactly. There you go.
So, coming up, what's going on with all the fashion fails popping up? You know, intentionally provocative, or are they culturally ignorant? All right, so you don't want to miss this, and we'll be right back with I Wish You Knew. Welcome back to I Wish You Knew. From the Burberry Noose hoodie, to the Gucci Prada marketing blackface, to H&M using an African-American boy to sell a sweatshirt with a monkey on it. I mean, what is the deal, right? So joining us to talk about diversifying the fashion industry is LaGreg Harrison, the co-owner of Museum DC and Fashion and Art Boutique right here in DC's Ward 5. Welcome to I Wish You Knew, LaGreg.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Hey,
How are you,
how you doing?
Good.
Cool, man. Cool.
Good.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit. So, we've all seen it, right? We've all seen the hoodie, all right? We've all seen the sweater with the big red lips on it, and the monkey sweatshirt. Like, tell me, what was the first thing you thought when that popped up on your either IG feed or Facebook feed?
I'm gonna let one of y'all go first because
It's like, I'm an African-American male, so when I saw that, I was disgusted. But I love high fashion. Like, I like Gucci, So when I saw that, I was like surprised. But then I was thinking like, maybe that was a part of their little plot. Like, when you do outlandish things, like controversy sells. You look at the front page, it's all controversy most of the time. So maybe that was part of their campaign or marketing.
Yeah, I myself, I was a bit outraged. I had to take a different perspective on things because I'm in the fashion industry, and I think there's a lack of diversity in the staffing for people who can vet those things in the business. And I think, those brands, those big fashion houses that we spend our money on and that we have the influence and power to change those things, I think that they have to start doing a better job of creating a more diverse workplace.
Right.
They have to get some of us in there.
Exactly.
That will be sensitive to those issues.
Exactly.
And how complex things really are. I don't think that they're growing as rapidly as we would like them to in terms of diversity. And I say that because in the past, maybe 10 years ago, I was working for a major licensing company. It's called the Czech Group.
Right.
So they had Apple Bottoms, House of Darion, a lot of other brands. And it would take months to basically vet out designs, and the process was a very long and strenuous process. Nowadays, with growing social media and, it's microwave society, you have to get things out. And it's a lot tougher. When you do things fast, you're subjected to error.
Right.
So speaking of
definitely
diversifying your workforce within the industry, I mean, how are you making a difference in that?
Well, right now, I have a brand called the Museum.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'm actually teaching other millennials and people to come after us how to actually start their own companies. We have to understand that we're the benefactors of, growing other businesses. So the businesses like Gucci, the product lines Prada, and so on and so on, we have to stop becoming so much of the consumer for those brands and become owners.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we dominate spending.
Yes.
We dominate. Like, that's why I wanted to wait.
Determining what the fashion trends are.
Exactly.
Since those incidents, you'll see rappers or celebrities or artists or actors kind of being outraged about people even around them in their circle supporting these brands that are doing these types of things. So people are actually starting to take a stand against it. And they're like, to the point where if you're wearing that, don't even hang around me.
It's like the biggest, they're alienating their base because like in hip hop songs, everything, like you always see them reference Gucci, Prada, and all that.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that and you're like putting something derogatory towards like a group of people, like it doesn't make sense. That's less sales and profits for you,
And it's not
that's a
even
big
like,
part of your base.
Yeah, and it's not even like you're Gucci, Prada, they're not only alienating a base, they're appropriating the streetwear of a base, like primarily African American streetwear,
Exactly.
capitalizing
all the way
off
back
of
to
it.
Tommy Hilfiger. Like when back in the day when it was street to wear Tommy, and then you see, and Tommy was like, I didn't make that for y'all. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'll take the money, but I didn't make this for you.
Exactly.
Like those same people are making it profitable in a big brand, and then you're saying, oh, we don't need you. Like that's kind of like, where's your marketing sense at?
So that kind of goes back to what I was saying. We have to create for ourselves. We're geniuses. We have all the influence. So why do we continue to create for these other brands that we don't even have equity in?
Exactly.
I can't call the owner of Gucci and say, hey, I'm down a couple of dollars. I'm starting this new business. More than likely, They won't even answer an email back.
Exactly.
You know, but
Yeah.
you can support a small business,
Exactly.
like the one we have, the Museum DC. You know, or Eat.
Yes.
Is another fashion brand that's in Washington, D.C. right now, that's doing a lot in the community and things of that nature. And you can go and learn hand to hand. And you can also, you know, tell those guys what you're not feeling about their brand. And they'll be able to take a more socially conscious effort to doing better. You know, so.
So a question for you, you being somebody who owns a fashion apparel company, what's your strategy for going out and spreading that word?
Okay, so.
And can I piggyback on that question? Because that is exactly what Nicole Hart commented on Facebook. She was asking about influencers. Not to put words in your mouth, but I mean, do you use influencers? And if not, what other ways do you get your word out?
Right, so right now I believe, of course, in supply and demand. You know, and we've been able to use our influence very well ever at the museum. So I don't put out product every day. You know, my marketing strategy is to just put a little out, you know, and allow the customer or the consumer to salivate for a while, right? So I only really sell product on Fridays and Saturdays. Everybody knows when I'm dropping product and they wait. You know, they're outside, the lines are wrapped around the building, you know, and we'll drop maybe midnight online, you know, or we'll drop 12:30 in the afternoon, you know, but I make sure that my marketing strategy is always to keep the consumer on his toes. You know, I'll put a little bit out in the space, and then I'll trap you in, you know, for those couple of hours, 24 hours, and we'll sell you all our product.
So real quick, how do we find your merchandise?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can go to my website, themuseumdc.com, or we're on all social platforms, the Museum DC.
Check out his website, definitely.
Awesome.
Gotta
I
do
love
it.
what you're doing.
Definitely.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, well, we had a great time today, and thanks for watching and checking in on Facebook and Twitter. And so we'll see you again next time on I Wish You Knew.